the safe area.
Good morning, agents, and welcome to another daily episode of Target Loot today for November 12th. The series that shows you the Target Loot map, farming tips and tricks, vendor reset highlights, and much more. I'm Agent Shadow, and if you enjoy my content, please consider pressing those subscribe and like buttons below. In the pinned comment below, there are links to join my Discord, my Shadow Crew clan on all platforms, support my channel like merch and memberships, but we'll cover that and more at the end of the video. Let's go ahead and get started with the Dark Zones first, and the highlights from the vendors this week, your daily reminder, then DC, and finally, New York City Target Loot highlights last. Alright agents, so this is just your daily reminder to complete your weekly SHD requisition for your first exotic cache and named item, and then complete summit on any difficulty for your second exotic cache and named item, and then for your third exotic cache you want to complete your weekly legendary mission. And this week it's Capitol Building Stronghold. I know it's not as easy as District Union Arena and Roosevelt, but it's not too bad if you get in the right group, so try and join our Discord and find somebody that might want to help you. We're on all platforms. And remember, that's up to 4 different characters, so that's a total of 12 exotic caches and 8 named items. Alright, let's go check out the highlights for the Dark Zones. Alright agents, we're over here at the highlights for the Dark Zones, and I got 2 vendor reset highlights that I really want to point out for this week that are worth getting, and Cassie is one of them, so make sure you pick them up today if you need it. So first off, at the clan vendor, we got a Fox's Prayer knee pads with that 8% damage to targets out of cover, and that thing is almost god rolled completely for DPS builds. You got weapon damage, 8% damage to targets out of cover, and then the third attribute slot is rolled with almost god rolled crit hit chance. So if you don't have these, I would definitely pick them up. If you do have Fox's Prayer, I might want to pick up a few extra just in case you want to re-roll the third slot for anything else. So like instead of crit hit chance, maybe you get some crit hit damage on it, but otherwise that's pretty much it for the vendors. Now let's go to Cassie. Cassie does have a strategic alignment backpack with perfect shock and awe. It's rolled with a skill tier, skill haste, and crit hit chance. I would just re-roll that crit hit chance for skill damage, and that's a pretty good backpack for status effect builds. Otherwise, over in the Dark Zone highlights, we got Strikers at DZ West. I don't really recommend anything here, and of course the vendor also I don't recommend anything. Now over in DZ South, we do got Negotiator's Dilemma as targeted loot. Now I do recommend farming Negotiator's Dilemma, but I don't really recommend farming the Dark Zone unless it's a DZ exclusive. Negotiator's Dilemma is a great DPS set for ARs, LMGs, and SMGs. And I do have a double LMG video I'll put in the top right that utilizes it. But otherwise at the Dark Zone vendor, you can pick up for 152 DZ resources a Devil's Due backpack with perfect clutch. It's rolled with weapon damage, headshot damage, and explosive resistance, which of course you're going to want to roll off for something like crit hit chance or crit hit damage. And then lastly in DZ East, we got knee pads as targeted loot. Now of course you can get the DZ exclusive Emperor's Guard knee pads. They give you 1% armor regen, and they mix really well with Bellstone Armory, 2-piece Golan gear, and of course the, Foundry Bulwark gear set. Otherwise, at DZ East, you can pick up a new Reliable with Perfectly Optimized. That's a named LMG that's not DZ exclusive, but it is a really good named LMG, and you can use it on, of course, the Negotiator's Dilemma build I just mentioned in DZ South. Alright, let's go check out what we got on the north side and the invaded missions this week. Alright agents, we're over here at the highlights for the north side and invaded missions. So first off, I did want to mention that we have Grand Washington Hotel as an invaded mission this week. That's pretty much all that's really that important. Is remember, Grand Washington Hotel is where you can get Puck's blueprint, which is the blueprint for the Nemesis that you can craft at the White House. So you can't farm MMRs for the Nemesis, you got to complete the quest. You usually want to pick up the designated hitter from Tidal Basin Stronghold, and then go back and replay Grand Washington Hotel if you're missing some parts, and get that Puck's blueprint so you can craft the Nemesis and make an amazing headshot damage build, which I'll explain later in the video. A good example of one. Otherwise, for targeted loot, I see True Patriot at Coney Island Amusement Park. Most people know my build by now, but if not, I'll put it in the top right card now. It's 4 pieces of True Patriot mixed with a Memento, and of course the Sokolov chest with Intimidate, which you're going to be able to farm for easily today because we got Sokolov at Lincoln Memorial. But we'll get to that in a second. We got gloves at Manning National Zoo, so you can farm for the exotic BTSU gloves that are extremely good first off. And remember, TU12 is going to be mostly all skills, or really it's all skills. So I would get a pair of BTSU gloves to mix with some of the newer stuff in TU12. And also you can get the contractor's gloves with 8% damage to armor. Although I think I saw Petrov somewhere in DC, and that's where I would farm for the contractor's gloves. But you can also farm for them at Manny National Zoo. Kinley College is closed, and the summit you can pick your own targeted loot. So let's go check out what we got on the west side. Alright agents, we're over here on the west side, targeted loot highlights. Now I'll get started like I always do with the gear sets first. Now, first off, we got Hunter's Fury at Foggy Bottom. Everybody knows Hunter's Fury is that SMG shotgun combo that you want to run up close and personal with. Now, I got many builds with Hunter's Fury. I'll put probably my favorite one in the top right now. And that can give you an example of just how great this build really is, or how great this gear set really is. And then lastly, at the west side, we got Future Initiative at DCD HQ. Remember, the chest and backpack are raid exclusives, but otherwise, you can still mix 4 pieces of this Future Initiative gear set with like an Alp Summit chest piece with, Empathetic Resolve, maybe a backpack with Safeguard on it for a really good heal build. Otherwise, my biggest highlight for today would be Circle of Concern at Lincoln Memorial. I just ran this mission before I did this video. This is the footage that you saw at the beginning of this video at the intro, and man, I finished that in 8 minutes and 41 seconds. Super quick solo with my Hunter's Fury build, and this is how you get that chest piece with Intimidate, weapon damage, crit hit chance, crit hit damage. This is where I've gotten all of mine pretty much. Is either shared with me from somebody else, or I got it at Lincoln Memorial running it over and over again. You can also pick up a good backpack with maybe Adrenaline Rush on it, because SMGs require you to be close and personal with the NPCs or players in the Dark Zone. So remember that those are the top 2 talents for sure with Sokolov. We also got Providence Defense at DARPA Research Labs. You can farm for the Sacrifice with Perfect Glass Cannon, amplifying all damage you do by 30%, but all damage that's incoming to you by 60%, and that's amplified. Multiplicative damage, the best type of damage in this game. We got Mask at the Pentagon. You can farm for 2 exotic masks, the Coyote's Mask and the Vile Mask. Of course, you usually want to farm Douglas and Harding for this, but you can also get the Punch Drunk Mask, which gives you 20% headshot damage baked right into it. And what I highly recommend is Aces and Eights over here at Jefferson Plaza. Mix that with your Punch Drunk Mask, usually, and then 1 piece of Geraldo Holding on your backpack with, Vigilance or Composure, and a Chain Killer chest piece with Perfect Headhunter. There's several different ways to make headshot damage builds, and then of course with the Coyote's Mask, it's for DPS. For the Vile Mask, it scales with your Concussion Grenade, so you usually want to run Demolitionist because that increases the damage of your Concussion Grenade by quite a bit. We got Grupo Sombro at Tidal Base and Stronghold. You always want to farm 1 piece for DPS builds and 2 pieces for explosive skill damage builds. So if you're farming for that second piece for your explosive skill damage builds, you usually want to try to find something that's rolled all yellows. And then we got Honey Yu at Roosevelt Island. You could farm the Force Multiplier Backpack with Perfect Combined Arms. That's an additional 30% skill damage every 3 seconds that you land a shot. And that is still going to be pretty viable in TU12. But we'll wait and see with the PTS this Friday. Technically tomorrow, I will be definitely running that and showing you guys some cool stuff on it, and hopefully some live streams as well. I also see Badger Tough at Bank HQ. You can farm for the 0F's chest piece with Perfect Unbreakable. Every time an enemy breaks your armor, well, every 55 seconds an enemy breaks your armor, you replenish 100% of it. Definitely worth farming for as well. Alright, that's pretty much it I see for the west side that's worth farming in my opinion. Let's go check out what we got on the east side. Alright agents, well, starting off at the east side highlights, it looks like pretty much all of our gear set stuff is near the south region. So Aces and Eights, I'll just bring it up one more time. This is a separate build you can make. 3 pieces Aces and Eights, 2 pieces of Geraldo Holding, and 1 piece of Chain Killer. And of course, with the Geraldo Holding, one of them is going to be a backpack that you're going to want Vigilance or Composure on. That would be one of my best, headshot damage builds without the Punch Drunk Mask. And then next up, we got Ongoing Directive at East Mall. Now, you can mix this with or without the Ridgeway's Pride. But I personally actually really like it with the Ridgeway's Pride chest piece and an Eclipse Protocol backpack, which you can pick up over here at Capitol Building today. Or you can, what I did is I rolled it at the White House crafting station for weapon damage, crit hit chance, and crit hit damage on the backpack for Eclipse Protocol. And then of course, same thing with all the other pieces on Ongoing Directive and what you get on Ridgeway's Pride for an absolute shredder of a DPS build for bleed builds as well. But it pretty much only works solo or in a couple man group. We got Foundry Bulwark and American History Museum. Just like Future Initiative, the chest and backpack are still raid exclusive to the Iron Horse raid. So if you want to get them, you're going to have to farm that Iron Horse raid, which you can do in my Discord, and the link will always be in the pinned comment video description below. Now, next up, let's just go ahead and get the normal loot brands and weapons done next. So we got submachine guns at Space Admin HQ. So this is where you can farm for 3 exotic SMGs. That would be the Backfire, the Lady Death, and the Chatterbox. If you haven't gotten the Chatterbox yet, I'll put a quick little guide in the top right that'll show you how to get the Chatterbox in about 5 minutes. And then of course you could farm for 2 named SMGs outside of the Dark Zone, and that would be the Safety Distance with Perfect Outsider, and then the Swap Chain. Although I don't really recommend the Swap Chain or haven't tried it in a long time, the Safety Distance is really cool for a niche build that Rogue Gold made that I'd recommend you go watch. And then of course the Dark Winter and the Apartment, the 2 best SMGs in this game in my opinion, are DZ exclusive still. Next up we got assault rifles over here at Viewpoint Museum. You can farm for the exotic Chameleon, which is still very viable and good. You just got to build those buffs up over time, and then you shred through the rest of the content. And I'd like to mix it with True Patriot and a Memento backpack and a Fenris chest piece with Intimidate on it. It's absolutely shredding content. Otherwise, you can get a named assault rifle like the Maniac, the Burnout named FAMAS, you know, the Mechanical Animal, Future Perfection, and there's probably several others that I'm missing. Otherwise, the best weapon archetypes for the assault rifle class would be the FAMAS, the military AKM, the Police M4, the Carbine 7, the CTAR, and the G36 variants. I also skipped Hardwired, sorry about that. I will include my best assault rifle striker drone build, assault turret striker drone build in this video. That would be 3 pieces of Hardwired, 2 pieces of Hana U, and 1 piece of Wyvern Wear. You usually want kinetic momentum or glass cannon on your chest piece, and for your backpack, it's just simple. The Force Multiplier backpack with perfect combined arms, and you want it all rolled with skill haste and skill damage. Otherwise, we do got LMGs at Grand Washington Hotel. You can farm for the exotic Bullet King and the exotic Pestilence as well. And I believe you can farm for the Carnage, which is a named with perfect Sadist on it. It was just in the DZ East vendor last week, and it absolutely shreds with that Ongoing Directive build I mentioned earlier. I'd recommend picking that up. But anyway, I got ahead of myself. You can also pick up named LMGs like the Carnage, or you can get the Good Times with Perfect Fast Hands, the new Reliable, which is in the DZ East vendor this week, and several others. And then lastly, what I see is Araldo Holdings at DUA. Now, like I mentioned earlier, Araldo Holdings is for those headshot damage builds, so you want a good backpack with always rolled with weapon damage, headshot damage, and weapon handling. Crit hit chance and crit hit damage do not really matter. You know, in a headshot damage build, it's all about headshot damage and how fast it takes you to reload and how that sway is on the scope and just how the weapon handling is overall. Alright, let's go check out what we got on the New York City Target Loot highlights, and then I will let you agents go. Alright, agents, we're over here lastly at New York City Target Loot highlights, and I only see 1 gear set over here at the Tombs. It's Tip of the Spear, and I just do not recommend it really, but if anyone else does, please comment in the comment section below and let me know why you recommend it and maybe an example of your build. Now, let's start off with just finish off with the regular brands and weapons. We do got holsters at 2 Bridges. Man, that would be awesome if that was over here at Stranded Tanker today. You could get the exotic Imperial Dynasty holster and of course the Dodge City holster as well. Both of those are amazing holsters. I have builds for each one of them. I recommend usually Dodge City, I forget off the top of my head, but with Imperial Dynasty, you usually want to mix 4 pieces of Eclipse Protocol with the Imperial Dynasty, and then of course 1 piece of Golon gear for that extra 10% status effects. We got shotguns at Stranded Tanker. This is where you can farm for the exotic Sweet Dream shotgun with the Sandman talent. 1 hit anything that is not elite, basically purples and reds. Otherwise, you can farm for the best 3 shotguns in the game. That would be the Mop with Armor on Kill, Custom M870, and the Marine Super 90. The Showstopper or the Rock and Roll shotgun is a DZ exclusive. You know, you can't farm for that one, but it is pretty amazing as well, actually. Now we got chess pieces at the financial district area. This is where you could farm for 2 exotic chess pieces, the Ridgeway's Pride, of course, and the Tardigrade exotic armor chess piece. Now, of course, you had to complete the project first for Ridgeway's Pride, or you can go in a group with someone or your clan mates or matchmake and just, if someone gets it and it drops for them, that means they already did the project, and maybe they're willing to let it go if you ask nicely. We got Petrov at Wall Street. This is where I would recommend farming the Contractor's Gloves with 8% damage to armor. It goes great on LMG builds and any damage to armor build. It just basically requires this glove piece. We got Gear System mods at Liberty Island. If you're looking for those 12% crit damage mods, 6% crit chance, 13% protection from elites, which are getting popular right now, you want to farm this on Heroic for your best shot at getting those God rolled mods. We got rifles at Battery Park. You can farm for 2 exotic rifles, the Diamondback and the Merciless. Now, the Diamondback is pretty good, and the Merciless usually want to run with Braced as a chest talent or weapon handling all over the place. But otherwise, you can farm for a good M1A and put one of the best damage talents on it. That's Boomerang, Rifleman, or Ranger. Overlord at Pathway Park. You can farm for those Fox's Prayer knee pads with 8% damage to targets out of cover, but I highly recommend just getting them at the clan this week. Alright, agents, well, that was the targeted loot for today. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe, like, and share if you enjoyed my content. If you would like to become a member for support and exclusive perks, which I'm working on a lot more custom emojis, a lot more designs and cool stuff for the channel members only, and of course, you get the build videos I make a day early, so that's something else you might want to check out. Then please click the join button below. Otherwise, you can also grab some Shadow Gaming merchandise by clicking the link in the pinned comment and video description below. Not only have I lowered the prices across the board on everything, I also got a promo code for the next week that gives you free shipping on any and all orders that you get. And I also put a specialty hat in the store. It's a Shadow Gaming snapback, and it comes in navy blue, white, and black. I'm ordering 4 of these for me and my family, and my sister-in-law is also picking up a few as well with the hoodie. You can also support me on alt tech like Patreon, Subscribestar, subscribe to me on Storyfire and BitChute. But really, if you're still watching this video right now to the end, thank you. That really is the best way to support me and whitelist me on your ad blocker. Take care, agents, and be sure to stay tuned for more daily Division 2 content. This is Agent Shadow signing off. I will see you in the next video. Take care, agents.